Hello, I'm Luca De Giglio, and this is the Web3 in Travel podcast, where you can learn about crypto, blockchain, and how the new internet will change travel. In this podcast, we will talk about the merge, which is probably the most important upgrade for Ethereum since its inception. And then in practice, you will mint an NFT completely for free. And you will learn how to mint NFTs if you haven't learned yet. And also, you will contaminate your wallet for potential future airdrops. So let me explain everything in this episode. It's very practical. So you will have links at the bottom which you can follow, and you should be done in about 10 minutes anyway. So not a lot to do with the potential big upside in airdrops. So what is the merge and why is it important? The merge is Ethereum going from proof of work to proof of stake, which means going from mining equipment, burning electricity all day, as Bitcoin still does, to having validator with money on the line to verify transactions. So people risking to lose the money if they are not honest and they are not online, etc., etc. So shortly, it means leaving behind the wasteful, if you want, proof of work. Now, my personal opinion, proof of work is not that it's wasteful. We use energy for many things in our lives. It is wasteful if what we are building with it is wasteful. So maybe somebody could say playing video games is wasteful, or spending hours on Facebook is wasteful. Mining Bitcoin probably is not wasteful because we are doing something important. But you see, it's about what value you give to what is being done. Anyway, if we find a way to secure the network without actually burning energy and without renouncing to decentralization, safety, and censorship resistance and so on, well, then, of course, it's a net advantage. It remains to be seen. Anyway, Ethereum had this plan since the beginning. It took much longer than expected, but it seems it's finally there. So it should be around probably this year. They keep changing months. It was supposed to be June. Now it's August. Who knows? Probably this year. Doesn't really matter. If you have a long-term view of these things, a month, 6 months more, don't change anything. What the merge is not making the gas fees go down. So there's going to be for sure many people thinking, oh, finally Ethereum 2.0, finally low fees. No, that's not this aspect. This comes later. And anyway, it's happening on layer 2s already. So the merge is pretty much proof of work to proof of stake. Pretty technical. It's infrastructural. You don't really need to know too much. Nothing is going to change in the front end. It's just a big thing happening in the factory, if you want. For you as a user, not a big deal, at least in the short term. So why is this interesting for us in the travel industry? It is not specifically for the travel industry. It is interesting for us as students, as people who want to learn, want to be on top of things, and want to participate into this ecosystem. We have a chance now to actually help Ethereum grow. So what happened this month is that a new chain, a test chain, has been launched, and the name is Kiln, K-I-L-N. And it's like one of those test chains you see in Metamask. You may have seen Ropsten, Rinkaby or Rinkaby, Girly, etc., etc. It's a new one. It's specifically to test the merge, and people are encouraged to test the merge. What happened in the past to people who actually helped launching new systems, like Optimism, for instance, and test new systems, they got airdrops. So by testing Kiln, you may become eligible for airdrops. And what you're giving in exchange is more transactions. We need more transactions to happen to actually test this chain. How do you test this chain? Well, you do transactions, you interact with smart contracts, the usual things, right? So the more you do, the more you probably get. Actually, by the way, there is already one project which is giving for sure NFTs to people who test it. So at the minimum, you will get a little NFT of no value, but still, it's a badge in your armory saying, I was there and I helped. So I would suggest to do this on a browser, on a computer, not on a smartphone, because usually it's easier, but I don't know, you can try this for a smartphone too. The first thing to do is to go to a website called kiln.themerge.dev and click on Add a Network to Metamask. So you're going to click a couple of times and you're going to have this new network in your Metamask. Then you're ready to actually start. You will need some tokens. And the second step is to go to a Faucet and get some free ETH. In that same page, you will find a Kiln Faucet where you can get 32 ETH. It's a lot. It's what you need to become a validator, which is something I'm not going to explain in this podcast because it's much more technical and it takes more time. And unfortunately, that faucet works only if you have an ENS domain, so a domain which ends with ETH. There's another faucet where this is not needed. You will get less ETH, but still enough, and it is kilnfaucet.com, and it's also in the show notes. So after you got your ETH, you can start interacting with the chain. One first thing you could do is to simply send some ETH to another address. That counts as a transaction. Or you could interact with smart contracts. That counts also as a transaction. Now, sending ETH around is not fun. Interacting with smart contracts is more fun. So here are some examples of things you can do. So this girl, her Twitter handle is SheGen, and actually at SheGenerates. Made a fork of a loot. Loot, if you remember, are those black NFTs with white text on top of them. And you can, interacting with the scan, you can mint one. Basically, you have to go to the explorer of Kiln, like Etherscan, find the mint function and click the button. And then you follow through by validating the transaction in your MetaMask. Now, this is interesting, not so fun because you will not actually see the NFTs anywhere. But what she says is just from doing this, you would have already earned multiple rewards in the future. The Optimism airdrop gave extra to everyone who was an early user of rollups. Future ones will likely include merge testers. So in practice, the merge is a really, really important step for the whole space. And when future airdrops happen, they will look at, as I was saying in the airdrop episode, at very different parameters and things you've done in the past. And being part of the merge testing, it's probably going to be important. Now, you can calculate in the future there's going to be hundreds of airdrops in the long term. Some of them will look at the merge because the merge, again, is historical. So do it. It's really worth it, in my opinion. Oh, and by the way, this loot she deployed is funny because she called it girlfriend. And when you mint an NFT, what you get is a girlfriend, which is like person with some characteristics. Like one is dyed pink, lawyer, curious, shilling NFTs on Twitter, board games, will love you one day. So that's one way to interact with a smart contract on Kiln. And now we at Trips have built two new ways. One way is to interact, so to mint a traveler loot. And another way is to mint a little traveler. Let me remind you what these are. The traveler loot is a derivative of loots. It's a black background with, most of them are black background with white text on top of it. And the text is a random text which describes a kind of traveler. And the idea is that if people have them, travel industry players could invite them to have discounts and gratuities, etc. So, and this is live on the Ethereum network. Then we launched the Little Traveler. The Little Traveler is an image of a person, also randomly generated, a little traveler, somebody who travels, and the background is a place around the world. And we launched this already on Ethereum and Polygon, and now we launched it on Kiln too. On Kiln is completely free. You get some free trips. You have to ask for them. I'll tell you how to do it. we send the trips to you, and then you can use them to buy this little traveler. And that's more fun because you will see the little traveler, this image, this PFP, profile picture image, right after you mint it. So you actually go in a website, littletraveler.org, click on connect your MetaMask on the Kiln network. You mint, so you basically pay for the NFT and you get the NFT. Everything is completely free and you have an end result which you can see. So if you go to the Traveler Loot smart contract, so there's no web page for that. You need to go to the scanner, which is called Kiln Explorer. It's like Etherscan, sorry. And you will be able to mint it by clicking on the claim function. So you click on claim and you get an ordinary NFT. Now, if you have previously got a girlfriend through the Girlfriend's Loot project, you can actually claim as a guild, which is a higher level of NFT. And in that case, you go to the feature, to the function claim by guilds, and you provide the ID of the girlfriend NFT which you own and its address. So that's pretty technical. If you manage to do this, you're already quite advanced, which is great. And after you've done that, you can actually mint a little traveler. I probably should have worded differently. You can mint a little traveler anytime. You can skip this step. I'm just giving you a whole list of things to do. But yeah, you can go to the littletraveler.org website and mint a little traveler. But you need trips. So first come to our Twitter, put your address, and we will give you some trips, and then you can actually mint it. The minting requires 2 transactions. One is to approve trips. So you're going to click, you're going to approve the trips, and then you're going to be able to click the second button, which is mint. And after that, you have your NFT. You can mint more than one at a time. You can mint 5 if you have 10,000 trips, and you will approve 10,000 trips to be spent by the contract, and then you will get 5 NFTs. Now, all of this is completely free. The NFTs have no specific value. You're just doing this because you want to test the merge testnet and because you want to maybe get future airdrops. So that's all. I would suggest you to do at least 10 transactions. So maybe instead of minting all the little travelers at the same time, mint them one by one. And that's it. You have helped testing the merge. Of course, if you like it, you can do more. There's going to be probably new contracts coming up in the next weeks and months. Another thing you could do is actually deploying a contract, like actually writing a contract on the blockchain, which is quite fun. If you've never done it, it's interesting to learn that. And one thing you could do is to create a new token. I would suggest you to go to Open Zeppelin Wizard, define a new token, connect to Remix, and then, learn your way through. In a couple of minutes, you could have built a new testnet token and then start sending it around to people you know. But yeah, that's of course for the more technical people of you. But having actually written a smart contract on the blockchain gives you the feeling of what it means to actually create a smart contract. It is much easier than you would expect. You don't actually need to program anything. It's mostly about, because these smart contracts for tokens, for instance, are already made. You just have to put a name, a limit, how many can be minted, etc. And then it's all about learning the tools, but there's not too many of them. There's basically, for this specific thing, is Remix connected to your MetaMask, and kind of try to follow some tutorial. You could be done in half an hour, and you could say, I have created a smart contract on the blockchain. Of course, this episode is for the more technical. Many people would not really care about these aspects, but we are still at the infrastructural level for blockchains, and having a little bit of experience also at that level, not only at the app level, it's really useful in the long term. So give it a try. That's it for today. That was a short episode. You're going to need to spend some time in actually doing things on chain. So have fun. All right, this is the end of today's episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. For more insights on Web3, follow me on Twitter at tripluca, TRIPLUCA, and see you next time.